This is our moment in time to take back what they've taken from us. This is the Free Speech Project.
In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13th United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But should this be a uniquely American declaration, or a worldwide declaration, a commitment to fighting for something more, for something greater, for something uniting, fighting for free speech and freedom of expression worldwide? This is about the dawning of a new resistance against tyranny, against oppression, against suppression, against those who would rather us be locked down, mute, incapable of thinking for ourselves, and incapable of uniting with our brothers and sisters worldwide. And why does this happen? Because they know where free speech thrives, tyranny dies.
What's the one thing that holds us back? The one thing. It's money.
I wanted to sing, I wanted to perform. I remember thinking, if I could just get a platform, if I could just get recognized, if I could get some power, if I could get some money. Really, it was money. It's always been money. That was the dream, go to Hollywood, make it big, be the one who brings back the gold to the small town. I mean, I was naive, thinking that I could make a difference. I didn't know what I exactly was a part of. When you don't have money, you play the game, there's just certain price tags and certain things that you have to sacrifice and compromise. And I thought, maybe I could break through. Maybe I could be the one person who could get through. But never really realizing that you can never get through. You can never get through the gatekeepers, and even if you do, you're going to have to push their agenda. They don't want to know the truth.
The question I get asked throughout the years, and I've been asked for a very long time, is why I started Voice of the People USA. What is it? Why the name? What does it stand for? Voice of the People USA was started as an activist group. It was started as a group, a movement of people standing up to oppression, people wanting to be heard, wanting to vent their frustration against the corruption of local governance, of county governance, of state governance, of federal governance. I decided there was a void. There was a void in 2006, 2007. There were no groupings of people holding rallies, holding protests, doing anything. People just sitting at home, being upset, complaining in written letters to the editor, newspapers. That was a thing then. But I wrote a letter to the editor, Standard Speaker in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, because I saw something happen. I saw an injustice happening. And I put an email address in there, voice_of_the people@hotmail.com. Terrible email address. But I put that in there to see if people would be responsive and open and susceptible to the idea of holding an event, giving people the opportunity to be heard and to stand up against the illegalities and the injustices happening. The first day I received 75 email responses. Day 2 I received an additional 110. By day 5 I had over 2,000 email responses in that crappy email address. of people saying they wanted to be a part of something. So, June 3rd, 2007, we held our first rally, the Voice of the People rally in Hazelton, Pennsylvania. And over 2,800 people showed up. And we had a mega rally. And it was an event. It was something beautiful. We had speakers, we had people there, we had politicians, we had all these other people. I thought it was awesome that people from all over the country, not just that area, all over the country showed up. But that was pretty damn cool considering I had no money, I had nothing but an idea. June 7th, 2007, we held the second rally in Scranton, Pennsylvania, at the federal courthouse. And we shut down Scranton. This time there was 6,000 people showing up. And then it continued to steamroll. 307 rallies later in 28 states without ever being funded by any special interest group, without ever taking bribes or taking kickbacks, and built something special. And the hatred we received because of it was monumental. Something that made me the target of attacks by the media, by the press, because I was going against the narrative, because I was speaking out against corruption, because I was giving people a microphone, because I would have rallies and I would walk down and I would pass the microphone around to people in the audience to let them be heard, completely uncensored. I was told that it's a liability and it's dangerous because you're giving a mic to people who you haven't vetted. Doesn't that resonate with you, that giving a microphone to somebody is considered a liability, that letting people speak is considered dangerous, when in reality I was the most dangerous one of them all. I was absolutely the subject of ridicule because I was against everything the establishment stood for.
When you don't play by the rules, when you don't play by their rules, the system, when you're up against the establishment, whether it's music, politics, media, movies, all this stuff, when you are up against the system and when you say anything that goes against mainstream narrative, you're shut down. You're looked upon like you are a freak, a leper of society, a loser, a conspiracy theorist. It's a losing battle, just against like the medical system. I mean, these people have millions and billions of dollars. No matter what, they'll shut you down and tell you to shut up.
So continue to go on. Rally after rally, audiences got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all those wonderful people that come around you and want to be a part of everything that you're doing because they think that somehow because you're on TV, because you're on Rush Limbaugh, because you're on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or ABC or USA Today or New York Times, that somehow that you're something special. In reality, I said it then, I say it today, and I'll forever say it. I am a nothing. What I am is nothing more than a manifestation of people's anger and outrage. I said the things that people were too afraid to say, and I tried to embolden and empower people to speak up, to be heard, to give them a voice, to give them a microphone, because others, they were scared about what would happen to them if they spoke the truth, their truth. They were afraid of the repercussions. Even back then, it was before the age of censorship and before the age of banning. Some of us were fearless, but again, I am a nothing. I was nothing but the source of their rage while expressing myself. And in the process, I lost friends, I lost relationships, I lost jobs, I lost opportunity, lost a lot of money. You work 2-3 jobs, you manage to get one day off, and in that one day off, you're literally flying across the country to go hold a mega rally where you're paying for the stage, you're paying for the PA system. When you decide that you're not going to sell out and sell your soul and put your integrity in question, and you're not going to take their money and take their bribes and become a puppet and become a shill of the establishment and nothing more than a marionette, yeah, it's harder. I had my second rally, the second Voice of the People rally in Scranton, Pennsylvania. The national chairman came and said that I have a bright future because I'm young and I'm passionate. And all I have to do is talk about these certain topics, but I should refrain from talking about other topics that could be deemed controversial. I should refrain from telling the truth. I should refrain from telling my truth. I should refrain from telling my stories, telling my thoughts, speaking my thoughts out loud, and follow a script that isn't a script, but suggested topics. He would get me speaking in arenas, making over $1 million a year, having transportation, my family taken care of, everything I could ever want. And here I am at 24 years old getting the opportunity of a lifetime. They're going to get me all over the country, all over the world, they told me, wanting to put me up because I did something. One event in, and they saw potential in me. So I shook his hand, And when the time came for me to speak, I looked out to the audience, and me as a lifelong raised Catholic, and there it is, a priest standing behind the crowd with a sign saying that I'm going to burn in hell for my words. I see the media there that all week was representing me as something I wasn't. I had no idea why, but it was very clear what I was speaking about. But yet the media would slander me all week, and I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. I'm a regular person working regular jobs that held an event that gave people a platform. At the same time, I had this guy, the head of the Republican Party, telling me that I have a bright future and I'll be a made man. And as I seen the media, I seen the priest with his protesters, and I see the chairman of the Republican Party standing there on the side of the stage, giving me the thumbs up, the fist. I decided to tell the audience. I introduced the chairman of the Republican Party. I said, he's here. Some people cheered, some people booed. But I knew what I was going to do at that point. I pointed out to the audience that we have the media in attendance again, that I'm obviously a high-profile figure now because I made the crucial mistake of giving people a chance to be heard. And I let everybody know that the ones that mattered the most to me were all of them. I said, but I was offered an opportunity by that man right there, and I pointed to him. On the side of the stage, I pointed to him. I said, the man hiding in the shadows that won't come out, the chairman of the Republican National Committee from Washington, D.C., came up here. I said, I guess he's shy and doesn't want to come out and speak from the podium. But there he is in the shadows. And I said, offering me the opportunity of a lifetime. And the entire crowd was silent. So I pointed out the people in the audience. I pointed to the media, and I said, all of you, we spent all week calling me something that I'm not. I see you for what you are. And I said, all of you collectively, along with the priest, can go straight to hell. And I said, to you, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, and just made me the offer of a lifetime, I said, the mistake that you made is thinking that I would be enticed and offer me all the money and the opportunity in the world. I see you. I see you. And you want me to forget about all of them, the people, and you want me to talk about what you want me to talk about. And I said, I'm not supposed to talk about this. I'm not supposed to talk about that. And I brought up everything he told me I shouldn't talk about. And I said, to you, Mr. Steele, you can kiss my ass because I am never going to be your fucking puppet. And I listen to them. I'm here for them, and I work for them, and I work for me, and I work for freedom, and I work for fucking justice. And I will never take what you're selling. And the people went nuts. And I said, I'd rather be broke. I would rather suffer. I would rather live on the street if it meant sacrificing to give people a chance to be heard, to reclaim what has been taken from them, their freedom of speech, because nobody was doing it. Everybody's all angry, but nobody's holding rallies, nobody's holding events, nobody's doing shit. But I've seen the power of what people coming together can do when one person has an idea. You could be a nobody and nothing, but when an idea becomes bigger than the person, that's what matters. And I knew I was onto something because why were these people coming in offering me $1 million a year at my second event? The people went absolutely apeshit. I told the priest to fuck off. I told the media to fuck off. I told the Republican Party to fuck off. I told politicians to fuck off. I told the establishment to fuck off. And the people reacted and they went crazy. Why? Because in their personal lives every day, fuck this job, fuck this boss, fuck this company, fuck this. But nobody really goes to that next level and says it out loud. I did that. I did that for them. I did that for me. I did that for freedom of speech, freedom of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. After you tell the establishment live and in person in front of everybody and embarrass them, and you tell them to go straight to hell, you can only imagine what your life is like after that. Because they take a little nobody, a nothing, and offer you everything, and then you tell them where they could stick it. So after that, it got harder, but the people responded. Rally after rally, state after state, emails coming in, come here, come hold a rally here. We exposed corruption in Pennsylvania, kids for cash, as we have police chiefs fired. We got all these different things, corruption and expulsion and abuse of power. People were reaching out to us saying, come here and give us that momentum, give us that force of nature, give us that event, and we did it. I went everywhere. I'd like to say we more, but honestly it was me. You know why it was me? Because the people people who were with me all started to fade. You know why? They took the money. They took the opportunities. They took the things that were dangled in front of them. They got their payday. I didn't take the payday, but I continued to pay. Because if it was going to be paying out of pocket to give people their right to be free and to be heard, then it seemed like a worthwhile cause. So as I lost friends and lost my friends that I brought in with me to assist me with this, I didn't care. I kept going. I knew then in 2006, I knew then in 2007, this wasn't going to happen quickly. No matter how much momentum had been built, no matter how much TV exposure I got, that meant nothing to me, because the only thing that meant everything to me was eventually establishing a platform, a way, a movement that people can actually achieve the freedoms that they're entitled to as citizens of this country. So I knew then, it's not going to be this instant gratification. It's going to take years. When you're in it for the right reasons, it's more than the path less traveled. It's isolation. It's darkness, and it's viciousness, it's evil, and you see it come at you, and you see how they go after you, your family, they threaten you, they threaten to kill you. It's sickening. But where most people get scared, I felt empowered, and I got more brazen. I got bolder because I knew this was worth the sacrifice. Certain things are worth fighting for. I was in this for life.
Since 2010, I've been doing it for a long time. The one thing that was always the common was the people, the fans. Fans that I did have made a difference. They were the ones that I knew there was something there. I knew the people wanted music. I knew the people wanted truth. The people are there, and the people care, and the people listen. I thought there had to be another way, but who am I? I was a nobody. I'm a nobody. Oh, no power, no money, no really way to break through the chaos and the noise. I still kept thinking, if I could just have a platform, I can help other people. I can get my voice out there, and kept fighting. You wonder sometimes, you want the good guy to win, but it doesn't seem like the good guy ever wins. Why can't the good guy win? I want the good guy to win. I do think one person can make a difference, but it's when you combine your forces.
I ended up on the radio in Philadelphia, in a radio station. I was offered one opportunity where I made no money. It could have eventually become a payday. I thought that'd be alright. A different medium to get out there, to be heard, but also to take callers and let people just vent. Because you're not calling to talk to me. You're tuning in because you feel a connection with somebody who's unafraid to speak the things out loud that you don't feel brave enough to say out loud yet. Doing a radio show, we were in 7 states. By show 4, I was told during a commercial break by the producer that I should not talk about this topic and this topic and this topic because it's too controversial. So when we came back on the air, live on the air, I said, does everybody know Ralph? I said, I already know the answer to that. You don't know who Ralph is. I said, Ralph is another one of those nameless, faceless people behind the glass, in the shadows, who you don't see. They push buttons, and therefore somehow, some way, they have dominance over you, and they have control over you. And they tell you, those nameless, faceless people who have absolutely no soul, they tell you what you can and can't say. And I said, and he did not want me to talk about this. And I said exactly what he told me not to talk about. And I told him live on the air, I said, and that's the lesson here. You don't ever try to silence somebody who is unafraid to speak the truth and doesn't give a good goddamn whether you like it or not, because the truth needs to be heard, because truths need to be spoken. I told him to go fuck himself. I walked out live, and a lot of that got on the air. Actually, he was a little bit taken back by what I had said, and the 7-second delay didn't really come into play, and he was the only guy behind the controls, so it was kind of fun. After that, I decided that it was time to do something different. So while I was still holding rallies, I said, I'm going to take the radio show that I was doing, Voice of the People Radio, and I'm going to go online. Do you know how popular online radio podcasts were in 2007? Not that popular. But I knew it was worthwhile because it was another avenue to give people an opportunity to be heard. So I started Voice of the People USA radio show. Online. Our first show had over 2 million people listen to it. Fast forward, the radio show continued for years and years and years doing the show. And I decided 3 years ago now that it was time to break free of the platforms that claim to be platforms for free speech, but they control you because they take your money, you pay them for a service, but they censor you and they ban you and they dictate what you can and can't say. That is not a platform devoted to free speech. That is not a platform that gives you the ability to be heard when all they want is your money, but you're now investing in them silencing you and stifling free speech. So after being banned continuously, and the first time I was censored was 2009. 2012, 13, 14. So everybody talks about cancel culture. Some of us were living it before it was ever a thing. So dealing with these platforms, I got tired of it, and I knew that I needed to create a network. And I knew that I needed to create the Voice of the People USA Radio Network. And even though USA is in the title, it's going to be heard worldwide, because the shows were heard worldwide. And I was going to do it in a year, but I decided I'm tired of it, and I did it and launched it in 2 weeks. So starting out, 2 weeks, built a completely grassroots radio network online. At that point, we were heard by a little over 1 million people. It was in about 12 countries. And I knew that we could do better. And I knew that we could build something stronger. And I spent money, time, and effort, and not having the millions of dollars, and not having the investors, and not having these companies that want to invest in you, when in reality they want to own you. They want to own your dream. They want to buy your vision. They want to take your soul. They tell you what you want to hear, but they deliver nothing. We launched, we were out there, we had 4 shows on the network. I decided we needed to keep going. We launched apps, I built a server. I don't know the first damn thing about any of this stuff, but I found a way to build the server, build the platform, build the apps, get it out there. I started making phone calls to people in England, Australia, New Zealand, Tokyo, France. 2 years into the network, far faster than one could ever possibly imagine. So because of hard work and over $150,000 of money paid out of pocket, I have it to the point where Voice of the People USA Radio Network is now heard in 98 countries, heard by 64 million people a month, because the momentum of truth, the momentum of an idea cannot be silenced, cannot be stopped, cannot be buried by those who try to use and abuse and manipulate and take from those who do. Because we started a movement.
I was back in Pennsylvania. I had come back to Scranton when the pandemic hit. I had left music as far as pursuing it as a career because I just saw everything for what it was finally, and I knew there was really no way to break through that route. And I said, music and art, as all artists know, it's in your soul, it's in your blood, it's who you are. It never goes away. But we had to get back to, the real world. How do you pay bills? How do you live? How do you pay your rent? And I said, I'm gonna go do something else. And I had gotten a job as a holistic healthcare practitioner assistant. Another industry, because it's doing good for the world, almost impossible for people to look at alternative, holistic health, all the remedies being suppressed. I never took the traditional route. It was always alternative everything because you could see through what was happening. When you live a life where you have more time to think and you are a free thinker and you're thinking about other things and you discover other platforms and you hear people's stories and you dig, you don't go the traditional route. And I never did. When it came to healthcare, it was the same thing. I was like, there's alternative health ways. So it was when Dan came into where I was working that we met. As, God had it, he introduced us. When I met Dan, everything changed. I didn't ever think I would ever meet anyone who was a nobody like me, who was still fighting after all these years. I mean, we're about to turn 40. We've been doing this since we were 20. When he had told me what he had built, I saw myself in him. He didn't take the easy route, he didn't take the shortcut, and he told me the platform that he had built. And knowing what I know of how I had always been working other jobs just to pay the rent, just to pay the bills, just to keep it going, to buy equipment, to buy microphones, to buy websites, to buy posting, all this stuff, the money it takes, but you have to work for that money. So that's taking all your time. So I knew when he told me that he had a platform, Voice of the People USA Radio, I was blown away from what he had built. I understood what he had built. A working class guy. He never sold out. He never took the money. He never took the easy route. When you don't take the easy route and when you don't bite the fruit and become part of it, you get thrown out. He was someone who was doing it all for the right reasons. He even said to me, I'm a nobody. Me being positive, I was like, you're somebody, we're all somebody. But I knew what he meant by that. When he told me he built an alternative platform that he controlled, I was like, you control this? They can't really shut you down? You can say what you want? And he said, yeah, I have like 64 million listeners in 90 countries or more. And I was like, oh my God, like, there's so much we could do with this. And I started thinking, and I'm like, we have to do something with this.
Sometimes in this life, in this world, you go down that road less traveled. And sometimes no matter how hard you fight, no matter how much passion and commitment you give to this cause, the cause that you're willing to die for, free speech, worldwide, universal, uninhibited, unrestricted, uncensored, human emotion, human talent on display, alternative ways of thinking, holistic health, artist, songwriter, whatever it may be. When you believe in this and when you believe in that, hold on to it. But you face all the evils of the world coming against you for trying to do something good. It's easy to fall victim to doubt and fall victim to circumstance. When you fight the battle alone for so many years, it becomes tiresome, but you believe the cause is just. Sometimes there's those little miracles that happen that we don't often catch, but they're there. Sometimes when you're at your lowest, you meet that someone that lifts you up and re-inspires you and relights that fire of liberty, of passion, of devotion, of dedication inside of you. Fate, by chance, whatever you want to call it. I had that. I found that when I met another who shared equal vision, equal passion, and a desire to build something more, to build something greater. Coming from a different walk of life, the similarities were uncanny. That day, I met another who was willing to fight this fight, not for me, not for her, not just for us, but for this idea of freedom worldwide, this idea of something more, this idea of a free speech project, the collective, a worldwide community. On that day, I met an artist, a musician, that had seen the evils of the music industrial complex, of the industry, and how they use people, manipulate people, and take advantage of people, encountering the same types of evil and control, manipulation, and corruption in the political world. Once we spoke for the first time, it was known then, destined to do something together, and it was undeniable. So now, one person fighting on this side, another person fighting on that side, come together. Now we're a team. Now we're partners in this quest, in this battle, in this mission for freedom, in this mission to build a community of something better than what we've been forced to endure for so long. It's motivating that her and I collectively stood for something. And even though we may be two nobodies, doing what we love, doing what we feel is right, we realize that together we can be so much more. Why? Because we believe that you can be so much more. And we believe the world can unite behind the idea and the ideals of freedom worldwide.
He said he wanted to build a platform for artists. And I said, there are platforms out there, but they're being censored. And I said, you know, what if like all the listeners you have like 60 million listeners, literally if they gave $1, we could like build something. We could have a chance, we could have a shot, we could build something where we represent the voice of the people. Literally, we are the voice of the people. And there has to be some freaking good guys in control. The common Joe. Well, we're not here to take all your money, we're going to be here to fight for freedom and justice and equality and give people like us. There's so many people like me. There's a lot more of us than them. There's so many more people like me, even though it doesn't feel like that sometimes. Mostly everybody struggles for the common basic needs to be met, and that isn't how it's supposed to be. But we've been lied to and controlled and manipulated. It is up to the voice of the people. It is up to me. It is up to you. It is up to us.
At this point, I go back to what I thought in 2006. 2007. I didn't want just a network then. I wanted a worldwide, universal platform to give people a one world, not a one world government, a one world opportunity, a one world community to be heard, to be a part of something bigger than themselves, to give all the people all around the world that don't have freedom of speech in their country's constitution, the freedom of speech and the opportunity to be a part of something where you're not going to be used and abused and taken advantage of. I knew years ago that it was time to build something bigger, to build something global. It takes a long time when you do it the right way, when you don't sell out, when you don't give up your soul, when you don't become a part of the establishment, when you don't become a part of the system. If you're a purveyor of truth, if you are a person who wants to be heard, desires to be heard, wants their music to be heard, wants to put their talents out there, wants to experience what it is to have a worldwide community joining them for what they do. You know that this is impossible to do because you do not control your content. You do not control the ability to get it out there. The tech companies own it. The tech companies, the ones who have the monopoly, they're the ones that tell you when and when you cannot be heard, and if you're allowed to put your content out there. They represent the exact problem with the world as a whole. It is the 1% of the 1% who control everything. And you and I have no voice, no control, no power whatsoever because they have the money, they have the control, they have the platforms, the system, they have it all. In layman's terms, for the people of the United States of America, there's 333 million people in this country, but we allow less than 1,000 people in Washington, D.C. to dictate our lives, to control us, to lock us down, to silence us, poison us, to hurt us, to take away from us. To the people worldwide, you make the mistake of going into the streets and protesting, and you have cops and military being turned against you. And that's not just an activist. That's not just the activist with the bullhorn, with the microphone. That includes artists, musicians. You play your song in public, it's not approved, so they silence you, they'll arrest you, hell, they'll enslave you. We limit ourselves and we put ourselves in these technological AI-run prisons, and we allow AI and the tech gods, the technocracy, if you will, to stifle our ambition, to stifle our passion, to stifle our free speech, our expression, our talent. It's time for everybody worldwide to unite behind this one very basic notion. We outnumber them 10 million to 1, a billion to 1, hell, 9 billion to 1. And it's time for us, you and I, and what we have here, the collective, it's time for us to take back control. It's time for us to build a system within their system. It's time for us to use their own devices, their own platform, their own tools against them, to use their own technology against them. It's time to silence them with the voices of us worldwide. We have the ability to take back control, or to take control. So I'm not sure we ever had it. Now we can. This is bigger than borders, bigger than countries, bigger than nations. This isn't just the United States of America. This is for people worldwide. I don't care if you're in Somalia, if you're in Japan, if you're in France, if you're in China, if you're in Russia, if you're in, pick a place, Philippines, wherever. This is for you. It's time for us to invest our time, our energy, our passion, our love, our fears into something that we control, that they cannot take from us. I'm tired of platforms and these companies using and abusing people's passion, people's commitment, people's dedication, and their love for what they do, and to take advantage of it, whether that's a musician, whether that's an artist, whether that's a gamer, whether that's a streamer, whether that's a radio show host, it doesn't matter. Instead of creators online You're paying somebody to use a platform. You're paying for a service. You're paying to restream the multi-sim, paying a monthly fee, an annual fee, a bi-monthly fee. Well, we have to increase your rate now. You need more bandwidth. You need more gigabytes to be heard by a larger audience. If you just pay $100 more a month, you could be heard here and here and here. It's sickening. Do you not get tired of paying multiple sources to do something that you love and that you're passionate about? You're being taken advantage of. I am tired of being taken advantage of. $50, $60, $70 a month for Adobe or Photoshop or Audition, Canva, your StreamYards, your Restreams. All you gotta do is pay more money a month. Buy this add-on.
The people who run these things, just $100 here, $100 there, $100 there, they can afford it. Let them buy the subscriptions. Like, hello, most artists don't make a lot of money, and they're doing other shitty jobs just to pay for their art. Keep the dream going.
Subscribe to this, pay this license fee, and you'll get this, you'll get that, and then maybe you'll get out there further. But then once you get out there further, what happens? I pay more money, and fill in the blank. Nothing ever changes. Doesn't it get old? I'm gonna get out there, and I'm gonna make it. But you never quite do you? Our solution to this problem is simple, and I'm surprised nobody's thought about it before, but if you think about it, why would they? Why would the tech gods that control us, why would they want to make it easy for us?
Target artists and they make it so hard is because, for the most part, artists and musicians come out and speak about this stuff. We are the ones that question things and are free thinkers throughout the time. We have a target on us, shut them down, make it almost impossible, make it difficult. What's the first non-essential to go? Be able to go online, but now the catch-22 is it's all censored. And that's why a platform that has freedom of speech, that is uncensored, is so important right now, and that there aren't any.
They control your money, they control your passion. They control your passion, they control and own you, and they bleed you dry. These platforms own your music, your art, graphics, meme, podcasts, radio shows. They give you a percentage of what you earn. 10% of a dollar. Spotify has been robbing artists, musicians blind for years and stealing your talent and using it for their own gain. All these systems have one thing in common: greed. This isn't about greed. We are not Elon Musk. We are not a Zuckerberg. We're not a Bill Gates. We don't have all the money in the world. Two regular people, we're bringing this to you, that have lived this for decades.
My whole life I've dedicated to this mission. To say, why does the struggling artist, why aren't we valued? Oh, now I know why. Being in this for all these years, you know why? Because we ask questions. We write songs about it, and we stand up, and we put our life on the line, and we fight for other people, and we make music for other people to listen to when they're depressed and down. We try to help people. And why is that bad? Because we don't care about money. And the people who do know that and use it against us and manipulate us.
So what do? What's the solution? Fight back.
We need to fight back.
To give a finger to the system and build something for the people, by the people. You're a part of this.
The people against conglomerates, the corporation, the media companies, to be run by musicians, run by artists. Yes, someone's going to have to run it. It's a business run by people who care about you. For artists, by artists, willing to sacrifice their own comfort, stand up for that person, fight for that person. About fairness, by people who are people. We're human. How dare you play God?
This is for musicians, by musicians.
Musicians need to be protected, and it should flip that we should actually be paid for our work, not screwed over, not given 0.10 cents.
And say, we're going to do something a different way. We're going to go to the one place where freedom is still legal. That's here. And the difference is free and fair use. We're going to have a platform built so people can share with the world, with fellow artists, creators, streamers, producers, broadcasters, completely uncensored, completely unowned by some invisible, faceless tech god. This is war. We are going against the established businesses, the established systems, by doing something they've never known. Competition. It's ours. It's not theirs. It belongs to us. And they can't take that from us. together worldwide. Instead of making all of you go to 30, 40, 50 different platforms, instead of that, here, a one-stop shop to find everything that you need. But imagine paying a very small, one subscription fee, getting everything, and then some.
A platform that gives artists an advantage.
All in one, everything. You keep what you earn. You're gonna own what's yours. You're gonna have the ability to go to chat rooms again, to go to forums again. They took away the forums, the chat rooms, because now you can do it on Facebook, Messenger. That's supposed to be the same, it's not.
If you're not an artist or musician creative, that's okay. You just want to have free speech. You want to tell a story that maybe something happened to you in these past couple of years. Go on Facebook, write it, and they flag you and say you've written something that is not true. I can't write that? Here, we support you. I'm not going to throw you off and say you're a liar, spreading false information. You're going to have a support group. You're going to have people who probably had the same experience, but we're not allowed to say that anymore. Why the fuck aren't we allowed to say what the fuck is happening to us? This is crazy.
They took it away for a reason. They don't like it when we communicate openly and freely with each other. This is how you begin to break the system, the stranglehold.
Why hasn't anyone ever thought of this? Because probably we don't believe enough that we are the people. And you do need, someone has to come and stand up for the people. Band together to start the ball rolling. We have enough rage in us from being treated like less than human most of our lives.
I'm tired of it. You're tired of it. And we're going to end it. It's going to be a literal worldwide community that is a middle finger, a fuck you to every single one that is taken from you and taken from me and taken from everybody else that you know that have encountered the same shit. The days of them exploiting us is coming to an end. That ends when we end it. When we say no more. I wish somebody did this for me years and years ago. I wish somebody did this for you. We're not going to hide anything from you. We're not going to do things behind a curtain and try to screw you over. No. We're going to be as transparent as it comes. We don't want your money. We're going to need some of it. Yeah.
Yes, there has to be some structure. We have to raise money. But this isn't about greed. Ann and I are nobodies. Working class people. We've had regular jobs.
This isn't about us wanting to replace the old boss with the new boss, the new dictator. No. This is all going to be out in the open. This isn't about the money.
How many people have been in jobs where you're just treated like shit? The boss, we have to be quiet because the guy who has the money. You are not God because you have money.
This is about us building a system within the system. We are going to become the system. A bigger, better, freer version, and being the true alternative to the platforms that have done us wrong for so long. This is what the Free Speech Project is, and doing it peacefully with love, passion, conviction, and fearlessness. There's going to be people that try to steal this idea and try to hijack this mission. I assure you it's not going to work this time. We know who the enemies are. We know who the controllers are. It's an ambitious project, yes. I've seen what can be done with ambition and perseverance. And if you're ready, what's the one thing that holds us back? The one thing, it's money. You need to have the millions, the backing of Silicon Valley and the backing of all the tech giants. It's not true. Do you know how much it takes to build a true multi-streaming platform that can cater to building a worldwide community to give you a stage, a microphone, a voice, a monetary value? About $4 million. That's it. They'll have you think and believe that it could take hundreds of millions of dollars, $1 billion, $4 million. That's what it takes. I've used over $150,000 of my own money, hard-earned, to build a platform heard by 64 million people in 98 countries. So don't tell me that you need millions of dollars. Don't tell me that you have to bow or bend the knee to record labels, to media companies, to conglomerates, to tech companies, to politicians, to anyone. It can't be done as long as you persevere. 64 million people listen to the Voice of the People USA Radio Network. That's amazing, and that's big, and it's something special. Do you realize that if a quarter of that audience donated $1, we could build 6 damn near Twitter-size, close to Facebook-size platforms? That's what it would take for $1. €1, €1 ruble, whatever it may be. $1. So I ask you, how invested are you in being heard, in being seen, but not being controlled and being owned? Is your passion worth $1? Is your voice, your talent, your skills, your abilities, is it worth $1 to you? Your time, your effort, is it worth $1? I think it is. Your jobs, your families, is that worth $1? Because for only $1, I know this sounds like a shitty sales pitch, and it is, except I'm not asking you for thousands of dollars. I'm not asking you for millions. I don't need your dollar. We need your dollar. You and I. You need my dollar. I need yours. Because you have to ask yourself, is your life worth $1? Because the way we're going to stop what's happening, the way we're going to defeat evil, is to do the one thing that they don't want us to do. To be heard, to be seen, to be creative, to be loud, to be proud. Your life and your livelihoods are worth $1. And why do I say that? Because these tech companies that own everything, control everything, and can silence you, and can now replace songwriters and musicians with a simple switch. They can do that. You know why they can do that? Because they have AI now. Artificial intelligence. Your dollar goes to combat that. It takes going back to the basics, to believing in ourselves, believing in you, believing in community. You see, they take this away because artificial intelligence can now do what you do quicker and better. So all it takes is coding, a simple code on a screen, and they can produce a hit album. They can produce a radio show. They can take my voice and put it out there to say whatever the hell you want me to say. That's what they do.
It was 2015. It had written something called the Reconnection Movement. It was a manifesto, just an observation, warning people. I was worried about AI even back then. No one was connecting, no one was talking to each other. Everything was on the phone. Thinking, this is only going to get worse. Because I saw how it was going to grow into something that was not human. Here we are in 2023, and it's like a science fiction horror movie was happening. Our children, they were born into this. They don't know anything else. They're in diapers and they're playing with iPads and iPhones, and they don't know any better. But we remember what it was like to be connected with people, to have that human emotion, to have that human compassion and empathy. It's missing. People my age who are still fighting. We are the generation who's left to fight for the future. So many men and women have come before us who have given their life for freedom. It's our turn. And people are lonely, and people are sad, and people are scared, disconnected. Reconnection movement was hauntingly accurate about what's actually happening now. As an artist and a musician, it was already hard enough to carve your own path. The world beats you up. There's all the red tape and all the guidelines and all the rules. The people's spirits get broken. Their spirits get crushed. You get older, you're downtrodden, you're beaten down. You see people who were once motivated and passionate, and it just sucks the life out of you because that's not the way it was supposed to be. So little amount of people have so much, and so many have barely anything. And there's billions of us. There's millions of us. There's only a few of them. And I'm sick of it. Being sad, struggling. What is done to us on purpose, it's done to keep us disconnected, to keep us low, to keep us sick, to keep us sad, to keep us upset, to keep us in fear and living in lack. And people can't pay their bills, and people can't get the food, and they can't grow their own crops, and the farmers are getting shut down, and everyone's getting shut down, and we can't say anything about it. Why? Because they own all of the platforms. With $1 from everyone, just $1, we can build a platform that's not censored, not owned by the tech company. It's not owned by the 1%. It's owned by us, and we matter. You matter. I matter. Doesn't matter how much money's in the bank. Everybody should have the right to life and to freedom. Music, art, comes from human emotion, human brains. Nothing can take the place of our soul and our heart. No matter how hard they try, this is a revolution. This is a war against us, a war against freedom of speech. We all deserve to express our opinion, the right to have an opinion, the right to have a voice. Whether you like it or not, it's still the right to speak, the right to be free. Our voice is our last line of defense. So use it. We can take back control, and we can fight back. This is our war. Fight for future generations. We're going to become a world of robots, and it will be the end of humanity as we know it.
For only $1 singular dollar, you are contributing to a worldwide revolution of free speech, free thought, free expression. You are contributing to the rebirth of passion versus computer, to something bigger than you, bigger than me, which is exactly what the powers that be do not want. They want us separated. They want us hating each other, against each other, not to hear what we have to say, not to listen to the music, see the pictures, join a chat room with people. They don't want that. They want to control that. The way you think, feel. They want to control the ads you see. They need to control that and micromanage that. They don't want community, because in a community, the collective come together and they realize what I know, what you know, that we have more in common than that which separates us. I believe now, in 2023, what I believed in 2006, that we are the answer to the problem, and we are the ones who can fix it and who can stop the evil. This is an information war, a war waged upon us that we didn't ask for, of control, of suppressing free speech, free thought, talent. We don't care how good you are. We have a robot that can do it better. We have a computer program that can do it better. It's time for the next step to get us towards this revolution. It doesn't have to be violent. Doing the simplest thing there is to do, putting our love out there for the world, whether you agree or disagree. This is the birth of something bigger. For $1 from all of you. I'm going to give a lot more than $1, but that's on me, and that's okay. For $1, we have the opportunity to build something that they cannot silence, that they cannot stop, that they cannot bury, that they cannot censor, that they cannot ban, they cannot suppress. They can't guideline us and strike us away, because we are more than a strike on YouTube, than a violation of community standards on Facebook, than the negative marks of social media companies. We're more than just a consumer. We're a people. We're a community. We're worldwide. We're everywhere. We are the one thing they are not. We're human. Artificial intelligence versus human passion and commitment and dedication and devotion. We could fight back against the music industry, film industry, medical industry, political industry, those who profit off of death and destruction and control and manipulation and silencing people, jailing free speakers, free thinkers. Freedom is on life support. Does that apply to you? Do you know what it's like when somebody you know and you love is on life support, fighting to live and using everything in them to fight in silence, just to try to live another day?
To fight for a voice
Fighting in silence
against people who are doing this to you.
There's a loved one out there that's fighting for them, fighting because they can. Do you know what it's like to be that one person that's standing up against the establishment? Does that relate to you? Does that relate to somebody you know? Is there a story there that deserves to be heard? Does the story of your loved one or of your friend deserve to be told? I think it does. You might see that as controversial. I see that as real and something that spans across all beliefs, all walks of lives. Do you know what it's like to fight back? For everybody out there that listens already, for everybody out there who will listen to this, this is the birth of the Free Speech Project. This birth of our two shared visions has given us this, the Free Speech Project.
The Free Speech Project.
For you, for us, for those who no longer have a voice.
We will fight for you.
There's stories that deserve and need to be told. There's pain that needs to be expressed. We here at the Free Speech Project intend on giving you a voice, to be heard, to be seen, to be recognized, noticed, most importantly, to be accepted. That is what's missing in this world, and we intend to fill that void. And together,
We can build this together.
and we will live our best lives, and lives that we were meant and destined to live, not the lives that our controllers tell us that we should live. We live for ourselves. We live for our loved ones. We live to honor those who've come before us. Only $1 from everybody. We're not the Matrix. We're not captive by the Matrix, imprisoned by these tyrants. We're free thinkers. We're free speakers.
We are their worst enemy. We're looking for the truth. And we're the danger to society. People like me and him, because we don't have anything to lose. We're just trying to tell the truth.
I've been quiet for too long.
It's time for us to collectively
Fight back.
to come together.
We are the voice of the people.
It's time to live our best lives for you, it's for me, it's for everybody.
And I really hope at this time in history, when we need it more than ever, that people will give $1 and join us.
We are making history. Whether you love me, whether you hate me, I'm irrelevant. But I am relevant because you're relevant. Because everybody is relevant.
And we should all be entitled to life, not just the chosen few.
Unlike the technocrats, even if they are human, they're fake. They bow down at the altar of artificial intelligence. They are the frauds.
They are the frauds.
They are the enemies of freedom worldwide, of passion, of talent, of perseverance, of soul, of spirit.
We've had enough.
They are the frauds. We are the future.
This is time.
Because we are human.
We are human.
And we're committed to free speech worldwide.
When there's enough people, they can't silence us.
The future belongs to us.
Future belongs to us.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Life, 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 life.
If our message inspired you and you want to pledge your support for true free speech worldwide, you can visit our GoFundMe and GiveSendGo pages at www.givesendgo.com/free speech project and at www.gofundme.com/FSP worldwide. You can also visit our website at www.fspworldwide.com where you can donate directly and find the links to our GoFundMe and GiveSendGo pages. This is where you will also be able to check back for updates as the project unfolds. Every dollar matters in the war against those who have unlimited funds. If you have more than $1 to spare, then please do, because there isn't a cause more worthy than the price of free speech. All funds are going directly towards this project, this movement, and this revolution. Now is your chance to be part of history rather than just a spectator. Remember, every dollar matters, and so do you. If you can't donate, you can still contribute by sharing this message far and wide to help spread the message of free speech worldwide.